Well, we're hearing that the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu's coalition partners have given the green light for a possible emergency government. Let's get more on this from Willem Marx. He's live for us in West Jerusalem. There's been a lot of wrangling over this wartime cabinet, Willem. What is the latest that we're hearing from there?
Well, Laura, that wrangling may well continue because, of course, we have no details about the preconditions that members of Mr. Netanyahu's coalition are themselves trying to place on the possibility of an emergency government. Remember, he has this narrow governing majority inside the Knesset here, the Israeli parliament, and they now have given him a conditional green light to work with members of the political opposition here. We are still waiting to hear from that political opposition as to what they would like to see guaranteed were they to participate in said emergency government. Over the course of the last couple of days, we've heard from some of these very high-profile political opponents of Mr. Netanyahu, many of them former allies and who've served with him in previous governments, saying that they would like to see some of the hard-right political leaders currently in his coalition removed from the decision-making process when it comes to the military strategy, the military operations over the course of the coming weeks. We don't know yet any of the details about whether those preconditions from his political opponents will be accepted by Mr. Netanyahu. We do know that members of his own party have been incredibly upset, publicly criticizing members of the coalition they serve within government, including the National Security Minister, Mr. Itamar Ben-Gvir, who they say have been obstructing efforts to form this emergency government, which at a time like this is facing a huge groundswell of public support as an idea to take on this military conflict.
Now, Willem, there's also been some confusion over whether the Ben Gurion airport on the outskirts of Tel Aviv has been hit by Hamas rockets. What is it that you can tell us about the situation there?
So, Laura, many times over the course of conflicts involving rockets from Gaza, and I was down there earlier this year, you see long-range rockets being fired from the Strip. They go much, much more steeply into the sky above you. They are often targeting places like Tel Aviv with that further distance they need to travel, as opposed to the much lower-range ones that tend to be intercepted by the Iron Dome in places like Ashdod and Ashkelon. In terms of what we heard over the last couple of hours from Hamas, they said they had targeted the airport. They said they'd launched rockets towards it. Al Jazeera spoke to the airport's authority, who denied that any rockets had landed. That may have meant the rockets misfired. It may have meant they were intercepted. But in terms of actual damage to the international airport, where flights have been cancelled repeatedly over the course of the last few days, no indication that's happened.
OK. Willem Marx bringing us all the latest there from West Jerusalem. Thanks very much, Willem.